Hi, I'm Pat. Join me as I share with you my life and how I'm able to have kinky sex in a Christian environment. All right. Welcome, all you beautiful people, to another episode of the Kinky Christian Podcast. In today's episode, we are going to be discussing BDSM. So, let's start off. What is BDSM? What does it mean? What's it all about? It's more than just four little letters, So, what the actual letters stand for, and this is kind of a little bit of a debate amongst the community, but it stands for bondage, discipline, sadism, and masochism, or sadomasochism, if you want to put it all in one thing. So that's what your BDSM stands for. A lot of people in the community like to also add the Dom sub aspect into it for the D and the S in there. Me personally, I'm not a fan of that. There's no right or wrong way. You can do it however you want to do it. It's all to each their own, and that's the beauty of the whole thing to begin with. But I like to separate the Dom sub from the actual BDSM, and I'm going to explain to you why. When you look at the actual BDSM, bondage, discipline, sadism, and masochism, that's kind of all having to do with more the physical aspects of the lifestyle. So the bondage, tying people up, handcuffing them to the bed, using straps, belts, whatever. It's more of a physical thing. The discipline comes in with more of the and I'm not sure exactly if I'm going to explain this the way I want it to come out. So if it comes out kind of in a jumbled mess, email me and let me know. I'll see if I can clear it up for you. But the discipline is more of a like a punishment for doing something wrong. So there's usually spankings or beatings or something involved in that. That's how I look at it. Like I said, everyone has their own views on this, and that's the beauty of it is you can have a view and it's your view. No one's going to down you for it. No one's going to rip on you. At least they shouldn't. So that's my view on that. The S&M, the sadomasochism, that's that was a term that was coined a while ago, actually. In my notes I have here, it was coined by an Austrian psychiatrist. His name was Richard Fryer von Kraft-Ebing. So try saying that 5 times really fast. Richard Fryer von Kraft-Ebing. And he coined the term sadism and masochism in 1890 in a book that he was writing. Yeah, been a while. So the terms sadism and masochism are pretty old and pretty common. And that just goes to show how long this stuff has been around. The sadism part of it all, he used because of the Marquis de Sade. And the Marquis de Sade was one who liked to inflict pain upon people. He got pleasure from doing that. So that's why he did it. The problem with the Marquis de Sade, according to historical records anyway, that I've researched, and again, I'm no expert. If you know more than that, please let me know so I can share it, because we want to educate people, and I do not want to miseducate here. That is the last thing I want to do. But the Marquis de Sade had a thing for kids, especially little boys. So he liked to rape little boys and torture little boys, and have sex with kids, and that was just not cool. That's not cool today. It wasn't cool back then. It'll never be cool to mess with little kids. So when you think sadism, try to keep that aspect out of it. This ain't about kids. Kids are innocent and you should always leave them alone. But that's where that came from. Now the masochist part, the masochism, came from a guy, and I'm going to have to read this one too, Leopold Ritter von Schocker-Masoch. Right? Another tongue twister there. Leopold Ritter von Schocker-Masoch. Now, the cool thing about this is, and I say cool in broad sense, is that he was still alive when Dr. Croft-Ebing labeled it as masochism. He liked having the pain inflicted on him. He liked being flogged and, having hot wax poured on him. He actually liked that. But he did not like that Dr. Croft-Ebing named it after him. So the day he died, that was kind of a thorn in his side, according to the research. Again, it's all just things I've looked up. Take it for what it's worth, and if you know different, let me know. But that's where this all came from. Now you come to today, and it kind of, like I said, its meaning has changed a little bit. BDSM was actually first, the four letters were first put together in 1991. And that's kind of the beginning of actual modern day BDSM. Before then, there was S&M, and then bondage was its own thing. But now BDSM has become kind of this broad umbrella of sexual activity. It includes the floggings and the whippings and the bondage and the rope play and fire play and hot wax and pins and needles and anything that kind of is out of the normal realm of sexual behavior. And I use normal very loosely, but normal in today's standards, well, even that's changing, but when this was coined, was more faith-based, Christian-based, so it was a lot of just straight, what we call vanilla sex. But now, BDSM encompasses everything other than vanilla. And that's why some people like to say that the D and the S also stand for Dom Sub. In my opinion, I keep that out because you can do BDSM and not be in a power exchange Dom Sub type relationship. You can also be in a power exchange Dom Sub type of relationship and not explore BDSM. So it's okay if you think it all goes together. There's no harm, no foul in any of this. I personally like to keep it separate. And the power exchange Dom Sub relationships is something we're going to explore in another episode. But this episode, I just kind of want to touch on BDSM and what it means, what it's about, and kind of, where it came from. So as I said, they found books and writings and drawings, artwork from thousands of years ago of BDSM. From people getting flogged to people inserting pins and needles into their genitals. And so this has been around pretty much as long as man has been around. And it doesn't surprise me because sex is enjoyable. And, as humans, we're going to always try to push the boundaries. If we can think of it, we're going to try it. So it's evolved. It's come a long way. But it's still designed for the same thing. It's designed for sexual enjoyment. So however you want to view BDSM, that's up to you. It doesn't have to be how I view it. It doesn't have to be how anyone else views it. The beauty of it is it's for you. Some people don't like flogging. Some people, like to have their toes licked. Some people consider that BDSM. Some people don't. It doesn't really matter. Anyway, that's a quick history of it. That's kind of, the big flyover of it. I'll probably, do episodes later on where we can dig more into specifics and get more information, and I'll do a lot more research to find out stuff. And maybe, who knows, maybe we can get some of these pictures and show them too. But anyway, that's kind of the basics of what BDSM is, what it stands for. Again, take it for what it's worth. Coming from me, I'm not an expert. And do it the way you want to do it. Don't mess with kids. Always have consent, and play safe. So I think with that, we'll call this episode complete, and we'll talk to you next time. If you have any questions, comments, information you want to share, ideas, or suggestions for episodes, hit me up at the Kinky Christian Podcast at gmail.com, and we'll see what we can do. So until next time, people, stay safe, take care of each other, and God bless.